Good morning, members. We'll start the session now. First of all, it gives me immense pleasure to welcome you all to this first larger event of our branch for this year, which is Bank Branch Audit. I request our Chairman Pramod Arende to escort the Chief Guest of the day, CA Santanu Kumar Majumdar, our Central Council member for Srinivas, and also the Chairperson State. Also request you to greet them all with a full
Good morning, members, respected dignitaries on the dais, our honored Chief Guest, Mr. Santanu Kumar Majumdar, Central Council member, CA Srinivas, our Southern India Regional Council Chairperson, CA Geeta A.B. Madam, our Secretary, CA Kamesh, and my dear esteemed professional colleagues. I have a distinct honor of welcoming you all to this Bank Branch Audit Seminar, a gathering where expert minds come together to share and learn. Today, we are at the forefront of the changing world of auditing profession. The seminar is more than just a meeting where our well-established auditing methods meet new innovative ideas. We are not only here to learn, but also to transform how we understand, examine, and apply our knowledge. Our agenda today, against this backdrop of a rigorous technical mastery, is by a thought process. When I approach audit, first, how I think is what is the expectation of the regulators, stakeholders. Secondly, what is the significant risks involved? Third one, of course, are deliverables. And fourthly, use of technology in whatever we do. With this backdrop, firstly, our session will be led by CA Sandeep Welling, who will steer us through our regulatory expectation facing bank branch audit today and auditors. This expertise will illuminate the standards we need and the strategies to align our practices with current regulatory demands. Then we move on to IRAC norms, income recognition and asset classification norms, also referred to as mostly NPA norms, which are very crucial for our verification of advances of advances in bank audits. These norms are not only designed to ensure the uniform, consistent, and application of classification provisioning based on the objective criteria, thereby enhancing the transparency in the financial statements of the banks. The adoption of IRAC norms necessitates a detailed understanding of regulatory guidelines related to income recognition and asset classification provisioning. CA Nilesh Joshi will guide us through the stringent IRAC norms. Then comes the LFAR long form audit report, which we oftenly call, which provides a detailed examination and report of bank's operation at both the branch and the bank as a whole. It is structured questionnaire format covering major aspects such as assets, liabilities, profit and loss account, and general items, where LFAR plays a pivotal role in identifying and addressing discrepancies and ensuring that the corrective actions are taken. CA Pankaj Tiwari will help us understand how effectively we can use this tool for the benefit of the stakeholders. Finally, artificial intelligence, which has emerged as a transformative tool in the domain of audits. offering numerous advantages and efficiency, improvements, risk, governance, and probably for a professional, which we were used to a traditional manual system, we get probably more a technical edge or a technical advantage. And this integration in the bank branch audit, I think will help us just not as a friend but as an ally in your branch audit. CA Premnath D will pioneer our explanation in digital footprint, and where AI is just not an assistant, as I said, but an ally. His insights will eliminate the path of our audit evaluation. Harnessing AI is a very potential requirement as of today. Ladies and gentlemen, the spectrum of today's topics will not only challenge our intellect but also demand our unwavering commitment to the excellence. The insights you will gain are at the forge upon with the future of bank branch auditing, which will be in existence. Today, we delve into rigorous symphonium. I urge you all to embrace the complexity, challenges that are known, and their evasion of the audit practices of tomorrow. With this, I would like to welcome you all to today's one-day seminar on the bank branch audit. Over to Secretary.
Thank you, Chairman. It's time now to know our chief guest of the day, CA Santanu Kumar Majumdar. He is a group CFO of Canara Bank Group and its subsidiaries. Mr. S.K. Majumdar is a chartered accountant and a cost accountant by qualification. He has been associated with the bank since January 2000 and has vast banking experience for more than 24 years. Earlier to becoming Group CFO, he was heading the Delhi Circle of Canara Bank. He was also had charge of newer global business, banking business. He has been in the charge of large corporate borrowings and project finances. He has played pivotal role in bank's progress and instrumental in amalgamation of Syndicate Bank with Canara Bank. He has served in bank in various departments in various capacities. Sir, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you so much for being here, sir. We'll now have the lighting of the lamp. I request all the dignitaries to come out to the dais and also MC members to join.
Sir.
for us to hear from our chief guest. So please.
Good morning all. It's a real privilege to be amongst my colleagues from the Chartered Accountants fraternity. And yesterday, my director, Mr. Karunakar Shetty, who is in our board, he told that why don't we come and spend some time. As you know, today is the last day of the financial year, and my presence is very much required in the bank, but I could not avoid meeting all of you here. Thank you again for inviting me and having me here. It's a real privilege. Respected Madam Geeta, respected Sri Kota Srinivas, respected Pramod Hegre, respected Kavita Paramesh, respected the members of the committee, and most importantly, dear colleagues from my fraternity, all the esteemed chartered accountants who are present here. When we talk about branch audit, the topic today is branch audit. Actually, the audit per se, that is statutory audit per se, has to change or needs to change and has changed significantly over the last couple of years. Because the way we did banking has changed. It's more than significantly in a decade, in the last decade. Today, almost 90% of the transactions which are happening is in digital mode. And we are moving towards a situation where the branch banking will, I'll not say will eliminate branch banking, but the quantum of transactions in branch banking will significantly come down. So the way we, and there is another, before we talk about any audit, there is also a significant change in the financial positions of the banks, all banks. And I am here on behalf of public sector banks, and most of you will be auditing the branches of public sector banks in the coming days. If you remember, even 5 years back or 10, like 13, 14, or even up to 20, public sector banks were making huge losses or made huge losses for 3 years, starting from 18, 19, 20. Even before that, the asset quality or the auditor's role in identifying the asset quality, that is, which will be NPA, which is not, how much provisions have to be made, was a very significant part of the statutory audit. And the branch auditors, to begin with, used to play a very significant role. Like we used to say that as I was in heading large corporate branches or even Delhi Circle at that point in time, we were literally on our knees before the auditors, just pleading them, to convincing them that why an audit or an account should remain standard. That scenario has significantly changed across banks. If you see today all banks, you forget about stronger, bigger banks like one which I represent, all the 5, even smaller banks, that is all the smaller banks. Today the net NPA of majority of them is below 1. I think for 80% of the net NPA of banks is below 1, like I am marginally above 1. So it is around 1. If you see the provision coverage ratio of banks across is almost touching 90%. I think if you take, I am one who is marginally below 90% at 89 point some percent. Even the so-called not so strong banks have made their provision coverage ratio of 90%, which means that whatever NPA in hand they have or we have made 90% provisions. And so provision and the asset quality is something which is behind us today. So it is no longer like whenever you go and see some weakness in an account, I can say with some kind of confidence, and tell somebody that this here we feel some extra provision needs to be done. You will be, I am sure most of you will find the banks have proactively already made more provisions in those accounts, although that continues maybe as on today as standard asset. In many standard asset, I have made already 50-60% provisions. Wherever I see any kind of question on its asset quality going forward, because without that a provision coverage cannot go above 90% for banks. So when we see, when as an auditor, when you go to branches, it is no longer that whether there should be more NPA or less NPA. And even if you suggest some NPA, you will be pleasantly surprised to know that bank have proactively already made provisions on that, barring a few. That is one which I am telling you this backdrop because that is the way you have, that a branch auditor needs to change their way of audit in these present circumstances. And since almost 90% of my transactions across banks is digital, you must know, you must be familiar what to see. It is no longer manually, it will be very difficult for you to see behemoth. Like I have branches where some of you will go having an exposure of 10,000, 15,000 crores, other than what will be covered by central statutory auditors. So unless you are very, very familiar with the system of the bank, it may not be possible for you to tell ultimately your responsibility of true and fair. It may not be possible for you to say it is true and fair in 7 to 8 days time. That is the time you have. You do not have an indefinite time before you to see. It is a time to look at it and know at the system level. Because we want to know also as banks that where there are gaps in the system level. There is, because you can be rest assured that once an account has become doubtful, once an account has gone into substandard, and provided the securities are fed correctly, system will calculate the provisions perfectly. There is no way that, there is no reason for you to waste time on that. You can test check a few of them to make sure whether the system whatever system has done is correct. It is now absolutely essential for you, for the branch auditors, to look into the finer aspects of the system. It is no longer our audit to check whether the prudential norms are correctly fed. I think that is already correctly fed. Only what is not, across banks. and otherwise RBI would have fined all of us by now. Because that is, and another thing you must remember, RBI no longer monitors us only once a year when they come and visit us for 2 months or 2.5 months. It is the offline surveillance is continuous throughout the year. For major banks, there is an SSM and his team is monitoring my transactions offline on a continuous basis. Before sometimes I come to know of anything, I have been called and questioned by the SSM here. And it is not that is Chief Financial Officer, Chief Risk Officer, Chief Technology Officer and Chief Compliance Officer are called to RBI multiple times during the year. And 4 times of the year that interaction is headed by our MD and it is concerned. At least 4 times during the year at the end of every quarterly audit. So you can know the kind of surveillance which is already there. So assuming that you have to, I request that your preparedness should be keeping this in mind. The auditing need not be at a very basic level anymore. It has to be at a very qualitative level. And more of your people or the auditing team should be aware of the systems. That is the reason the stipulations which are coming, that we need so much DISA qualified, CISA qualified. The more you have in your team of such people, especially when you go and visit the bigger branches, or it has become, I will not say an option, it is a necessity for the branch auditors to have that. Otherwise, I think we will all certify something without knowing. But I am telling you, I am here to scare you. I am telling you it is across banks. I am telling you the systems have improved significantly at our level. Given the strength of the balance sheets of the banks across PSBs, it is no longer that, don't just keep one thing in mind, the managements of all PSBs are not trying to hide anything. Because we are ready, like as I go today for year end, I have a war chest of provisions that in case any of you point out during the course of audit, I have a war chest of 100 crore plus provisions ready. So as long as you give me up an asset downgradation or something which covers up to 100 crore and above, but all banks like us are ready with a war chest of provisions before you start. So this is the backdrop today of public sector banks, not me. I can tell you across banks. So my auditors say that आजकल मजा नहीं आता है. When I go and tell auditors that जाके इधर NPA करना पड़ेगा, वो बोलता है भाई सर 50-100 कर दीजिए. Because RBI does not allow me to make provision unless it is relating to a particular account. I cannot make provision on an ad hoc basis. Given a choice, I would have done it. And making provision on an ad hoc basis doesn't help my PCR. If I at all make provision, I want my provision coverage ratio to show a bit better figure. So I am repeating all this to give you a perspective of today's banking and how you should see. Don't go with an expectation that we have to downgrade an account. I remember I was also on your side someday. I did chartered accountancy, I was with a firm, I was involved in statutory audit and even central audit of banks. I remember it, my seniors used to, those were the brownie points. कितना provision किया? Oh, वापस आया कितना NPA बनाया? That is gone. You will be, the more you, if you say 50, you will make 100. We will be happy, and I am sure that is the scenario across banks today. So, we want to know something at a system level. We really, because what is becoming a very serious risk for banks is a system level risk, which will translate into serious reputational risk. That is more so for private banks. Whereas because of that, a deposit outflow can happen. For us, we are still governed by the sovereign, so that risk is not there. And that risk will create a significant business risk. And that is why we want all of you to look into the way I told you. There are no, and another thing I will say, now this is the overall picture that I gave, and I think you all are more than equipped and qualified to understand and do justice to your job. Now I will come to some of the practical aspects that branch auditors, I keep saying, and I just keep, I'll not say, trying to convince people. Please listen to the management. I am not saying decision is yours. Finally, you all are all powerful when it comes to doing a branch audit. But downgrading, especially if you see in MSME space. No, before I go into that, I also want to say that how the portfolio on the asset side banks have changed. If you see the bank's portfolio or which went bad during that period 15 to 20, majority were corporate loans. And those corporate loans were in the sector of infrastructure, and those were in the sector of steel. And there were, I must admit that there were underwriting issues, because if you see, we started the infrastructure credit offtake started sometime, I joined the bank around 2000. I remember I dealt with the first that time public-private project where Canara Bank was a part of, is the Thabol project, which is history. And which went bad, which became Ratnagiri, then Enron failed, and you know that many of the road projects, if you see from 2000 to 2005, we gave left, right, center, because public sector banks drove those infrastructure growth in India. Means I always say that India's infrastructure growth, India's economic growth of 8% plus in those years were on the back of the NPAs of public sector banks. But if you see that majority of NPAs that happened, that actually there will be very few projects which did not happen at all. Only thing that what happened was a loan, actually those loans, those assets, be it the roads or the thermal power station, had a life of 20-25 years or more than that. And the loan, because we were commercial banks giving loan, our ALM did not allow us to give it for more than 10-12 years. Had we given the loan of 20 years, those loans would have, many of it would have been alive. That is the reason if you see in certain projects that it is, we could almost settle it as we stand. And what we say, there will be some haircut, but we have significantly, and some of the good assets, if you see like SR, Bhushan, where banks have got almost 100% with interest. That is not all the case, because as I said, that scenario has changed today. Today banks are moving away from corporate lending, which used to be in the range of 50-50. 50% corporate, or maybe when we started, it was at some point it was 55% corporate and 45% RAM. RAM means retail, agriculture and MSME. Today, average if you see, it has moved 55% RAM and 45% corporate. And today banks like mine, I am growing my RAM, that is retail, agriculture and MSME, at a growth pace of around 14 to 15%. And that is the scenario across banks. Whereas the corporate loan book is growing only at around 8-9%. Because margin has become the in thing now. The bottom line, it is no longer the top line business for banks. It is maybe one or two banks are still playing that. But for us, like, it is always the bottom line. What will be my operational profit? What will be my net profit? So in this, so your focus now goes from corporate to the retail segment which we are giving. And to check that retail segment, you must know the system very well. Knowing the system very well becomes very, very important for you when you check my entire RAM portfolio as an auditor. So this is very important. Another thing, as I was telling you, like when you go, it is very easy for us to downgrade an account. One thing which I have been seeing since I am on the other side of the fraternity today, that is as a CFO and even as the biggest circle head of the bank as Delhi, which has had almost 600-700 branches under that circle, is that one observation of many of you sitting here will agree that when you go and point out, in MSME sector there is no DP. And immediately this account is to be downgraded because the drawing power is inadequate. You calculate based on which is sometimes over and above, and I am not saying always you are wrong. But I just say that when it is very easy to down, because for judging an account, because eventually I and you are not on different sides, we are on the same side. We are trying to say that an asset quality is maintained properly, not an asset quality that wrongly an asset is shown as standard, which should not be shown as standard. But drawing power is at a particular point in time, which is generally, you all compare with the March balance sheet of that corporate with the March stock statement of that corporate. If you see, there is a time gap. The March stock statement comes in March, sometime in April, and the audited balance sheet comes sometimes in May. At that point in time, and that is not the only difference you should look, because in majority of these accounts, if it is a bigger account, it has got ASM. And one of us only are auditing and continuously sitting there and seeing. So please take that into account. There will be a stock audit report that is also being independently seen by any of us. Only on one criteria, don't say, sir, this account is to be downgraded. Just this I am bringing to your notice. If all the things are showing you that stock auditor had said there is no DP, the ASM says there is no DP, you are also finding there is no DP. You also see that the check returns, there are a lot of check returns in the account. It cannot happen, sir, that there is no DP and the operations in the account will be perfect. Oh, impossible. It is absolutely not possible. If all the factors point out to you, and then worst case what? You can go and see that also on a test check basis if there are doubts. But otherwise, don't say this account is to be downgraded, because you have supreme power to downgrade it or not to downgrade it. Because we give that. Because why I am saying that is not affects me. As I said, the guideline, that kind of war chest we have on provision, few MSME accounts falling, I already have provisions. But that affects that customer. The moment I downgrade that account, I stop operation in the account. Next day, the account is downgraded. So that an MSME may go from non-viable, from viable to non-viable if I stop operation in 2-3 months. Even for me to upgrade the account will take some time. So this is something I put to you, keep that in mind. Another thing I want you to see is the materiality of a transaction and which bank you are looking at. When even my central auditor says, sir, ये तो इधर आप ये 2 crore 3 crore provision कर दीजिए, एक MOC दीजिए. मैं बोलता हूँ, I always say I have a asset book, a loan book of 9 lakh crore. Please have a many times we say, we'll rectify this now. Don't ask for a MOC. Just look at the materiality of something that you are talking of, unless you see a mitigant in your presence. So have a view on the materiality of your observations in the context of the asset side, because the accounting, the basic principle of materiality remains, whether it is material or not. So this is another thing I want to leave my thoughts with. Another thing when I wanted to, many times, generally branch manager only interacts with you. If the branch manager is unable to convince you, we ask where we very strongly feel that this account should maintain its asset quality. We request our RO head or circle head to interact with you. Even at times that fails, I try to interact with you. But that is the last resort. Generally we don't do. Don't think that we are trying to influence you. Please never think. I gave you the background. For when I have a war chest of 100 crore and as per my estimate, it will not cross, whatever MOCs you give, it will not cross 50-60 crore. It is impossible. I have my assessment, otherwise my branch managers will be changed if it increases more than that. The kind of monitoring that happens today across banks. So it is not that I want to I or any of my branch manager, RO head or circle head wants to influence you. Please don't think that. We do not want to influence anything. We just want you to listen to us. After listening to us, whatever decision you take, wisdom is yours. But at many times we have seen that many of you don't want to listen to us telling you are influencing. We don't want to influence you, and I have told you why we don't want to. We need not influence you. My balance sheet is so strong across banks today, we need not influence you for some provisions. But at the same time, I want you to come with lot of things which I do not know, which we do not know. As we say, the management, then risk management, then the internal audit. 3 lines of defense, RBI strongly says you are the 4th line of defense. The statutory auditors and the central statutory auditors, RBI is very, and you must be, whoever have been central statutory auditors recently will know that RBI is interacting with all the central statutory auditors every quarter, SSM, without our presence. And they are free to talk anything. And I am telling you, in such interactions, we are forced as banks to take up and upgrade ourselves significantly. And I want that kind of input from all of you. And that kind of input will not be there majority in the profit and loss account and balance sheet that you draw. that will mostly find place in the LFAR that we do. So LFAR significance is tremendous. I want your qualitative input. As a bank we want, the regulator wants. And I'm telling you, I really sincerely want. All bank CFO, if you ask, sincerely wants that significant, put your sincere mind into while you draft or write the LFAR. Most of the LFARs, with due respect to all of you, I must say, are very, very casually written. Our total concentration remains on the figures, what we do, but not on the LFARs. So what we see in, when like I have around 1419 branches under audit, Canada. I hardly 100 branches LFAR we get some material observations. And mind you, today SSM, that is RBI, goes through most of your LFARs. They do not believe in our compilation. They themselves want to see what the branch auditors have written in the LFARs. Not only the consolidated LFAR which I and the central statutory auditors put up. So this I am telling because I see a lot of vagueness in that many a time. We cannot make out what you are trying to say. Firstly, to spell out anything very clearly, you should be in your mind very clear what you want to say. Don't say anything in a half-hearted. Don't please say this needs improvement. That is a vague statement. Please tell what needs improvement. Because we are talking of figures. We are talking of system. We are talking of maybe aberrations which you come across. Give that example and aberrations. I assure you, every management is very, very sincere to implement. That is what we are looking at. Many times I see there are no MOCs there. When the MOCs are seen, there are no MOCs given. But when we go through LFAR, there is so much shortcomings you mention about an account that account cannot remain standard. So you should be in your mind, either you should give an MOC and you should give me a benefit of doubt in not giving an MOC and then write the entire Ramayana there. That cannot happen. If you are not confident, downgrade that account. There is no problem across banks to downgrade that account. Give with reasons. Because you are a third independent party looking at that. Another observation which comes very frequently is, in spite of OCC accounts, that current accounts are being maintained. No, otherwise it should not be maintained, but RBI allows that up to 5 crore limit for whoever has total limit, that is party, small MSME and all, up to 5 crore can maintain current account also. So please be careful about those guidelines and don't insist there. Another thing, I think I have mostly covered that area. Another thing where observations come and rightfully come is in the valuation of securities. And I can tell you that there is not much subjectivity, should not be there. Don't ever say that we feel it should not be there. Well, there is no question of I and you feeling in finance. I feel it should, this amount should not be taken. What is the source? Where from you feel? It's not a fever that you feel. That feeling should come from the stock audit, because as I said, because many a time I feel there may not be that much of stock. See the stock audit. If you don't believe the stock statement, see what the stock audit which has happened during it must be within last 5-6 months. If it has not happened, you feel, I don't mind. Then you say, I feel this much of debtors cannot be there. You are not doing business. There is a stock audit report where it says so much of debtors. He has seen independently, he has gone deep. You don't have the time to go that deep. And I think there is a thing, no, we are still watchdogs. No, we have not turned into greyhounds or bloodhounds yet. But in spite, whatever it may be, that these are things I want you to be conscious of. Then it is your judgment is final. And I think an LFR, please give one qualitative inputs in LFR. That is what we look into. Not necessarily, if you feel nothing is there, nothing is there. Give us system level inputs in LFR. That is something we look for. I think I could bring in what I feel you should see, and I again thank all of you and the entire chapter of Bangalore chapter of ICI. It's a real privilege to be called, and it's far more a better privilege to interact with all of you. So if you have any question, doubt, as an auditor, and I am being a CFO, I am ready to answer. But I want that first, when you go to branch, you must have got allotment. Ask system level queries if you have. You ask the branch from the branch, and if it does not happen, interact with the circle or the head office who has sent you. I am telling you, every head office will give you inputs. If you want to know any query, system level or any level, if you don't get it, I want you to go well prepared for that audit. Have a proper plan and send somebody in the team who knows. I mean, he or she need not be an expert, but should know the system reasonably, should understand the system. Otherwise, I think all your endeavors may not be fully right. That's all. I am open to questions if you have. If any of you have any query relating to audit or what you have been facing. This. Another thing also I want to say, that hedge, one certificate you have to sign, that foreign currency hedging that. So that also, that has to be, I just read, many ask for suppose March audit, you want a chartered accountant certificate of that corporate for March. No sir, that will be available for 1 quarter, and that is the accepted norm. So if you are going for March audit, you will get that certified copy of the December unhedged exposure, and based on which you have to go through. So these are the general thing which I think I covered most of it as I face many of you and I will be interacting in the coming days. And anyway, that's anything, any questions? If none is there, I'm happy. All banks are then happy that there are no questions. Thank you. As you know, today is the last day, as I said. My MD must be waiting. Kal ka figure kya ho gaya? He must be having sleepless nights also. And I have to rush. Today is this. I would love to spend some more time with all of you. Had it been not today and any other day, I could have. But today you all have to excuse me. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the context and giving us the background to start an audit, where you are focused on said that bank auditors are the fourth line of defense and they have to focus on qualitative matters and not on prudence. Considering the time constraint, we will have a release of souvenir and a felicitation of our chief guest. Can I request all our MC members to join the dais?
For all of your record, in my entire life, I am being felicitated for the first time ever. It's a privilege, and it's a privilege to receive it from all of you. I know that I think Kolkata, these are the maximum chartered accountant. I am chartered accountant to Kolkata, so I know how much it means to all of you as part of your taxes.
Yeah, we'll move on now. We have our SASC chairperson, CA Geeta AV, who shall address all of us now.
Dignitaries of the dais, our own City Council member, CA Kota Srinivas, and chief guest of today, Santanu Kumar sir, Majumdar, with his technical aspects of perspectives what bank expect, and both ways he has covered it. The serious session which was so important for today's program because of his paucity of time, and he just left in his absence here. I thank him for his for covering the matter subjects which we need to look upon, and our own chairman, young and energetic chairman, C. Pramod Hegde, and the enthusiastic secretary, Kavita, and young team of committee members of Bangalore branch, and the speakers of today's program, and our own Bangalore branch members, ladies and gentlemen. Happy morning to one and all present here. At the outset, I would like to thank Bangalore branch and its entire team for inviting me here today to address the gathering. Really, I am fortunate because within the fortnight after delivering my address at Women's Conference, this is the first time I am addressing members in general after took over as a chairperson of SARC. It's really an honor, and I'm standing before you with emotions filled as a person, with chairperson of SARC, joining with you people today at this conference. I have been part of n number of programs of Bangalore branch in various capacities, as a delegate, as a committee member, as a managing committee member, as an ex officio, and today standing before you as a SARC chairperson. In the branch which groomed me, which taught me, which motivated me, and the branch which gave me the position where I am standing here today. So I dedicated my position, this SARC chairmanship, to the members of SARC and especially to the Bangalore branch members. It's your love and affection that I carry always, and it is your support that could make me to go further and reach my goals as a SARC chairperson. I thank my colleagues in the committee of SARC for reposing confidence in me and elected me as a chairperson. And the guidance of our Central Council member, has been invaluable, and I expect the same support from the Central Council member throughout this year for fulfilling my agenda, my perspectives to achieve as a chairperson, to be, I think, the wishes and support from his side. Branch audit, usually about whichever committee across India, as soon after the committee takes over, the change of the committee happens in the month of February. So after that, the first program of the committee would be the bank branch audit, where the new committee would be so enthusiastic to showcase their innovative ideas, to showcase their commitment towards the fraternity, towards the service. And from the members' perspective also, they would be eagerly waiting to attend the bank branch audit seminars. So this program itself is a testimony of these committee members for their commitment, and with the theme of Jnana Pravartana, the innovative way of thinking and planning the things and getting the members together and exploring the new opportunities for the benefit of the members. I hope, and I am very much confident, I am very much sure that this young and energetic team will definitely achieve the goals and the vision which they have set for the year. And from SARC side, I assure you, always SARC would support for all your programs and for all the initiatives which you people will take in future. Being the first major program which I am addressing today as SARC chairperson, just I would like to express my pranams to the founder members and first office bearers of CA Bangalore branch, that is CA P. Sambaya, CA Narayanan, CA S.G. Krishnamurthy, Keshavamurthy, and CA A.R. Narasimhamurthy, and the A.R. Narasimhamurthy was later became SARC chairman also in 1965 and 66. So I'm with it grateful to all the successors in bringing this branch from which started in a small room at C.A. Krishna Swami sir's office to the 3-story building. So it all shows the unstinted efforts and support or contribution by all the office bearers and committee members of the Bangalore branch, which made us today sitting here and enjoying and getting all the enrichment from the ICAI. And I would like to mention at this point of time today that day after tomorrow, that is on 1st April 2024, would be yet another significant occasion for the Bangalore branch. Yes, it enters into 63rd years of its formation. I am playing here at Twin Doors, first as a guest to address the gathering, and the second as a SARC chairperson. So I'll take just a couple of minutes of your time to explain about our team of SARC and the few initiatives. I'm not going to touch upon all the initiatives because a lot more are there, 20 plus agenda points are there. And because of paucity of time, I'll take you a few of them which I would like to your attention for that. Our theme of this year is Knowledge Nexus. Nexus is a point, it's a central point that intersects knowledge and ideas. So we intend to create a strong platform where knowledge and idea meets. So it's rather than a theme, we can call it as to collaborate, sharing insights igniting creativity. So together with 70,000 plus members across region will work towards this knowledge nexus, weave this knowledge nexus, unite minds for future filled with possibilities, challenges and opportunities of our profession. So I solicit your valuable suggestions and inputs to spread the wings of SIRC in different perspectives. As a tradition of SIRC conference, the conference happens in the area where, in the place where chairman hails from. So being from Bangalore, so we would like to have, we have finalized the date of the conference. It will be on 9th and 10th of August. So I request all the members, please block your dates, and we will be ready to host and invite all the members across the region to Nama Bengaluru, and I request all your support and cooperation in this matter to make this SARC conference a huge success. And as a part of this bank branch audit season, we will be organizing one help desk session at SARC for 3 days. It will be there for 2 hours daily. I will let you know the dates. I think it's 7th, 8th and 9th for 2 hours, in between 4 to 6 online sessions. So whomever has any doubts, they can get their doubts clarified virtually. So just I touch upon a few points about the agenda of SARC. The first one is about reading room. I know the reading room, it's people, students are hailing from small towns and staying in PG and coming from joint families. They are facing the challenges for preparing for examinations. So for that kind of students, so we intend to have more reading rooms. Right now we have 2 reading rooms at Bangalore, and we would like to have more and more. At least our target from SARC is to have at least 50 reading rooms across South. We have 45 branches. I think this 50 number is realistic to achieve. So I request the Bangalore branch chairman to identify more and more reading rooms across Bangalore, of course in the city. The person residing in Puram and this side from Devanhalli side, Chekbalapur, and those people, they are unable to reach Babasan Nagar all the time. So for such kind of people, we can at least identify the reading rooms. And I request the members also, if you come across any such place, please come to us to reach out the branch, and they will process it further. And our central council member is there to grant us generously the funds from ICA. Yes, maintenance fund definitely we will get from ICA for rent and maintenance purpose. ICA is also spreading its hands for helping the students to enjoy the facility of the reading rooms. The only thing is we need to step one step ahead and take the initiative. And the second one is about back to basics. We are going to start one session, say every Tuesday. We are planning to have back to basic sessions. Those who would like to refresh their knowledge and who have taken sabbatical and come back for practice. For such kind of people who would like to get in touch with the subjects, for such kind of people, we intend to have this back to basics session. We are starting with income tax, and later we would like to cover all the acts which is very much beneficial for the members. And the second one is about the study groups. We have the study group across Bangalore that I know. 5 minutes. But when the SARC website, we are creating one study group field. So I would like to request all the members, whomever would like to expertise in the particular subject, they can enroll there, so that you can interact, you can chat, and you can share your ideas with other person the person sitting in Bangalore or corner of the Karnataka, they can interact with the person who is sitting across the corner of Kerala. So I would like to, I request the members to make use of this opportunity, and it will be useful both the sides, win-win situation for both of us, and because I see always usually circulates this expert that those days that time we feel difficult to get the expert advice to get the comments for the guidance paper. So in such a situation, these kind of study groups will be much more helpful. And one more thing is about CABF. This is a favorite buzzword of our immediate past chairman of SARC. Being a past chairman of SARC, he has collected 1.5 crore of CABF fund for SARC. We would like to, because in recent years, especially during COVID, we faced lot of difficulties for spending for our own fraternity family members. So I request all the members to generously contribute to the CABF fund so that we can extend our hands to our own fraternity member family, which is very much, for us it may not be a matter for few people, but even 50 rupees or 500 rupees, if we contribute yearly once or quarterly once, it would be much more beneficial to the needy. And one more field which we have already introduced is about Raktadanam. Usually, whenever we are in search of blood donor, we just circulate in the groups asking for if any blood donor is available with so and so particular group. Instead of that, we are creating the database in SARC website itself. So I request all the members to first enroll yourself and get use of this business facility, and whomever is required, they can visit our website and they can share the data with the person who is in need of the blood. And along with that, we are shortly coming with the app, SARC app, to bring the SARC activities into your palm. So, and with that, because we are going to do more and more virtual programs, and to enrich the knowledge of our members, we are going to introduce few more initiatives, so which will be beneficial for the members. So if it is in your palms, and whenever you are traveling also, you can use of those facilities. So I request, once the app, we are strengthening the app. It was already there, but we are strengthening few more facilities in that, and once it get ready, we will announce. And please be in touch with the SARC website and the activities. And last one is about the career counseling. We need to expand our family of chartered accountants. So recently held meeting, one of the committee member, he was mentioning about why can't we have the career counseling meetings wherever we have studied. Let it be a birthday or let it be a birthday or at the day when we enroll as a member, or a wedding day. It is for on that day we can go and meet our own college or school wherever we have studied. So it will be emotional way of connecting with the students and getting in touch with the expanding, creating an awareness about our course also. So with this, I request all the members, if please share your inputs. If anything is there, if you wish to have it from SARC, I being a member, grown up from here, this platform. So I look forward for all your comments, suggestions and inputs for the fruitful year of my chairmanship in SARC. And I wish you all the best for this seminar and happy conferencing.
Thank you, ma'am, for your detailed address and letting us all know about the initiatives. Now I request Central Council Member Kotaya Srinivas to give us the keynote address.
Sabhage Namaskara. Dignitaries on the dais and off the dais. We have two speakers for the day. CA Sandeep Willing and CA Pankaj Tiwari from Mumbai. Welcome to Bangalore, sir. So dignitaries on dais, we had Chief Guest, CA Santanu, Majumdar, He addressed us and he left because of his busy schedules. Also, we have the chairperson of SARC, the first chairperson from Karnataka, being a woman chairperson. In fact, I should say in the modern era of elections, she should be the first chairperson of SARC. Because earlier the chairperson was in 1955, it was by selection, now it is by election. So in modern era, she is the first chairperson of SARC. All the best for you, madam. And she is the chairperson from Bangalore after me. The chairman of Bangalore branch, Pramod, the secretary, Kavita, and all the managing committee members and all the members present here. First of all, welcome all of you for this branch audit seminar. In fact, when I was the chairman of Bangalore branch in 2009, we used to have these type of seminars with 600, 700 members participating, and we used to stop registrations. In fact, when I was the chairman, president came for this branch seminar. President of IC had come. So that used to be the number of people that used to come and attend. But of late, the opportunities in bank audit is diminishing. It's not the economic law of diminishing marginality, but because of various reasons. That first and the foremost reason is technology. The invention of technology that makes the bank audit less relevant for bankers as such. Then, of course, the mergers that happened in the last few years, where the number of branches is reducing. And one more thing is the concept of auditing from the perspective of bankers. They feel that what is the value addition from the audit? Of course, he was sitting from the other side and he was talking. I don't want to say anything about talk about the chief guest, but the bankers feel what is the outcome of the audit as such. Institute is putting all its efforts to see that more and more branches are coming into the fold of audit. In fact, 3-4 years back, it was more than 20 crores which was under audit, and then we tried to impress upon the RBI, but they said 90% of the funds, that is both cash funds and non-cash funds, to be audited. Then it came to 70%, and now they gave that authority to the management, where minimum 50% only has to be audited. 50% of the advances, both funded and non-funded advances, to be covered under the audit. We were trying our best to impress upon the RBI, but they were not. They said let it be decided by the management as such. Then the institute spoke with the central statutory auditors, and then they said like 50% may not be a great sample for you as a central statutory auditors to decide or give your true and fair view on the balance sheet. And we have been impressing on the central statutory auditors. Recently also we had a meeting in Mumbai, and most of the central statutory auditors said, as per SCA 700, like at least the sample size should be more than 70%. 70 or 74? 70. So we impressed upon all the central statutory auditors, and all the central statutory auditors said that yes, we will go and tell the bankers that we want to audit the banks covering 70% of the audits. In fact, after the sir spoke and I asked him, what is the coverage in your bank? He said 74%. Canara Bank said 74%, and he said we will maintain 70% throughout. So that is one, I should say, welcome measure from, and I should say the efforts of institute to see that at least from our fraternity we are going and saying that 70% of the branches should be covered, then at least some of the more branches should be coming under the ambit of audit. Then we also requested them to, even bankers said only 2 audits. Earlier, maybe all of us seniors who are here would have got 3 audits at least. Now it is 2 audits. And the schooling period is across. It's not just earlier, all these tier 2, tier 3 cities, there was no cooling period at all. Only for bigger cities there was cooling period. Now it is across. So there may be chances that we may be having this bank audits in future also. Coming to the committees where I am heading in ICA, Of course, I'm continuing in the standing committees. From the last 2 years, I've been serving the standing committee. This year also, I'm in the standing committee. I'm in the examination committee, finance committee, executive committee, but also M&SS directorate. I'm heading the M&SS directorate, which talks about, which deals with members and student services. In fact, I should tell you all, last 3 days back, we achieved the active membership of 4 lakhs. Active membership of 4 lakhs was achieved in ICA. The 27th, they called me and said, sir, today we got the 4 lakh member. Active member, I'm not saying total members, because there are some inactive members also. So now, as on record, we have got 4 lakh members, more than 8.5 lakh students. We are the world's largest accounting body. Also, I'm part of this disciplinary committee from past 2 years. This year also, I'm part of one of the disciplinary committee. Coming basically with respect to the bank audit, because today it is bank audit, I thought I will share a few of my thoughts with the bank audit regarding the opportunities already shared with you. So the opportunities will not come down or will not dwindle as such. It will continue with the support of our I should say our peers who are all the central statutory auditors. Then with respect to the selection of the bank auditors, in fact 12 out of 12 nationalized banks, 4 or 5 used to use our software, the ICA software, and the rest they used to do from the management side. Now this year, I'm happy to share with all of you, almost 9 banks have used the institute software. So there is nothing that, So we should even thank the bankers that they are using our software. So there is no human intervention, because few people keep asking us as central council members, bank audit sigata. It's not for me, all the 32 members will be asked. So I'll be happy if all the 12 banks use software and there is no human intervention at all, and it will take care of the allotments. So that is happening. So that's a big news, I should say. Coming to the bank audit, the chief guest said he would like to spend some time with us, but he spent a lot of time with us. So he said, I want to spend some time with us, but he spent a lot of time. That's we are thankful to him. He shared a lot of insights from the banker's perspective. Taking that cue from the chief guest, we will go to the bank not to spend time. I just came to bank audit for spend time, so that should not be our intention. We have to spend really qualitative time and long time, I should say, long duration we should spend. Just one question I would like to ask, I see a lot of seniors here. How many of you are doing the bank audit for the first time? So very few. Okay. So majority of them have been doing the bank audit, so I will not tell. The newcomers, the people who are getting into the bank audit for the first time, if you enter the branch, the bank manager will say that last time it was done within 1 day, 2 days, something like that. So that is a usual statement all of us I would have heard. Even for seniors, they will tell us. When we go there, they will say, sir, last year, one day this is So if you just open the files, the previous files, see the what you call this attendance of all the previous auditors, you will come to know it is not 1 day, they would have taken more than 10 days also. So one thing I would like to say here is, don't be under the pressure of completing the audit. Because every banks will have a timelines. Now because of festivals and all, we have a very big festival for Karnataka people, the Ugadi is coming. So we cannot say that we will complete at their wills and fancies, but at the same time we cannot stretch too much also. Don't worry about taking 1 or 2 days more. The reason being is because of systems, it's not so easy to complete the audit within a short period of time. That's what I've experienced. I've also been doing audit from past maybe more than 15-20 years. I've been doing the audit. When it was manual audit, initial years when I started my practice in 97, it was all manual books of accounts. There are certain branches with maybe 7 crores advance, 10 crores advance, also all under audit. I used to complete audit within 1 day or maybe 2 days. And it's not just like that I used to complete, I used to do 100% of the advances. But today if you take me to some small bank also, small branch also, with 4 to 5 assistants also, I will not be in a position to complete for less than 4 or 5 days. So it's very, very difficult in this environment to complete the audit in 1 day, 2 days. So take your own time, maybe 4 to 5 days, depending upon the size of the bank. and see that you spend a reasonable time and do the audit. Then second thing is, as the chief guest also said, in the limited time, maybe say 4 days, 5 days, or even if you take 6 days also, covering entire 365 days transaction is not possible, humanly impossible. Basically, we have to do the balance sheet audit. And the bank audit, all of us are aware, we have to do the balance sheet audit, not getting into the each and every voucher as such. You cannot get into each and every voucher and do the audit. Of course, more detailed, we have the 4 sessions where the speakers will let us know more about the technical things as such. Then the NPA aspect. NPA aspect, the chief guest said that they are very, very willing to accept whatever we say. According to me, it is not correct. I know what is the situation in the banks. When we go and point out this is particular thing is an NPA, how they react, I know. All of you also may be aware of, because you are also been doing audit for many years. So let us put our, I should say, the foot and say that if it is to be done NPA, we have to do it NPA. Because otherwise they say everything is in system. Today we say system. Many of the managers, when we talk to them, they say, sir, Allah system, I don't know anything. Because it is in the server, it is, we don't know anything, it will be operated in the head office. These are the usual comments which all of us would have received from managers. But let us be very independent and do the things properly. Because end of the day, the banker says, where is MOC? If there is no MOC, they will ask, where is MOC? If there is no MOC, they will say, what is the value of this audit? Because in fact, even in UD, we have got a particular column, wherever there is MOC, you have to record that, so that we can go and produce to the RBI that this is the work done by auditor. I'm not saying that every branch you go, you should prepare an MOC as such. It's not that whenever we go for audit, whether it's an internal audit or statutory audit, always we find something. It's not an investigative audit. Sometimes we do the audit to see that the systems are in place. But these people may not understand that. They feel that if there is no MOC, there is no comment from the auditors, the audit quality may not be to the extent that they expect. There is some report called SA 012. Maybe each bank will have a different nomenclature for that. That slippery accounts will be there. Slippery account 0, 1 and 2. I may be forgetting some of the terminology because from last 4 years we didn't get audit. To be safe only we got audit. So I will come to know when I go to the audit more terminologies as well. The slippery account 012 is there. Please go through. SMA, sorry. What is that expansion, sir? Special mention accounts. Okay, this is all with respect to the slippery account. Slippery in the sense which is about to slip from performing to non-performing, right? So that word I just remember. SMA accounts 012. Just ask for the SMA report 012. Then kindly go through that. You will get a lot of things in that SMA report. Because they say everything is, sir also said everything is proper in the system because it is run by system. That may not be correct always. So you have to go through that and see that those slippery accounts will be classified as non-performing. Of course, the technology they said definitely each and every one of us should know the technology. Most of the banks use this Infosys software, sir. What is that software? Finacle. Most of the banks use this Finacle. Okay. So maybe one day you may have to spend to know about the software. If it is the first time audit, if you are already doing the audit the same bank, you must be versed with that particular software, so you can take that forward. I said UDIN definitely. If there is MOC, please record that in the UDIN so that we get a distinct data of how much contribution that has been done or how much MOC has been raised by our members during the bank audits. In fact, we wanted to do one survey or research to see that which all the bank branches where it was not under audit, how much NPA it has happened. See, we are doing only, I'm saying 70% of the advances we are covering. So if you take the number of branches, 70%, it will be only 30% of the branches maybe. Because if you see the ratio, 30% of the branches lend 70% of the advances usually. And 70% of the branches lend 30% of the advances. So that 70% of the branches where it is not under audit, what could be the NPA in that? We thought we will do one research on that, but it's difficult because we cannot get the statistics from the banks as well. We have to get the statistics from the banks, and also we should get people who will be interested to do this. Even RBI should allow us. So that was one thought. Maybe down the line, if it permits for us, we may even do that. Then LFA also, sir was saying, please give your comments. I also insist that you give comments. Whenever I do audit, certain times maybe 10 to 12 comments we give. There is one last point, other reports or something in LFA where you can give. If it is not specifically covered in this LFA points, you can give a detailed report. He said about risk-based assessment, other things you can give your comments. But all those things cannot be part of the MOC. He said it should be MOC and LFA. But all those things cannot be part of MOC because MOC is only with respect to the accounts, financial statements, and maybe the asset classification as such. Beyond that, we cannot go to the MOC. Everything has to be given in the LFA. Of course, he said be specific and be elaborative. That we should keep in mind. We should not say in generic terms. Like he said, he gave some examples. I feel like this, I feel like that. That may not be useful for the bankers. Let us give elaborative observations in the LFA. Then there is one helpline from ICA. Earlier it was not there from previously from past 4-5 years would have been started. Whenever you are on the audit, if you have some doubts, some clarifications you want, you can just get into that helpline and call them or WhatsApp them. They will help you in clarifying certain doubts for that. And even the bank audit guidance note has been released. I hope all of you would have downloaded or got the bank audit guidance note for 2024. I wish all of you use that in a proper manner so that we can give very good output of bank audit as such. Finally, with respect to the disciplinary, as I said, I'm also part of this disciplinary committee in the last 2 years and the current year also. I was in disciplinary bench 2 in the first year of my council. We completed 38 cases. Last year I was in disciplinary bench 4 where we completed 83 cases. Now again I am back in disciplinary committee bench 2 where we are planning to complete around 100 cases. Apart from these disciplinary cases, there is one set of cases with respect to this bank audit, tax audit limits, where it is in the Supreme Court, and we are hoping that the Supreme Court will give its verdict in a couple of weeks as such, and it will give the verdict in the favor of ICA, where it has given ICA all the regulations to restrict the tax audit for 60. So if any member who crosses 60, then he should be punishable under the CA Act. So that is the verdict which we are expecting to get from the Supreme Court. When it comes, there are around 400 cases where we have to complete at one go as such. Why I am mentioning about disciplinary, why I brought disciplinary here means just to tell you about some of the disciplinary cases with respect to the bank audits, which I have come across in the last 2 years. Basically, with respect to the statutory bank audits, we don't get much disciplinary cases. We are not getting any disciplinary cases with respect to the statutory branch audits, and I hope we will not get also. But basically, we get disciplinary cases with respect to this cooperative audits. We get cases with respect to the various certificates issued by the chartered accountants to the bankers, and the third one is with respect to the concurrent audits. So there are many cases with respect to the concurrent audits where auditors have failed in certain aspects. One of the example I should give is sometimes it so happens in case of partnership firms, one partner will be doing the audit and another partner will be signing the concurrent audits, content audit reports. When something goes wrong, the manager will raise a complaint with the institute. And then there will be a conflict between the partners that I was not an engagement partner, I was only a signing partner. So these things please avoid, so that whoever signs, you should know what is happening. Even if you are signing on behalf of the partner, ensure that the things are proper. And with respect to the cooperative audits also, there will be a lot of queries. And in fact, last week we were in Davangere and Bagalkot, where we inaugurated this reading room facilities. In Bagalkot, some of the chartered accountants came and they were discussing with me and saying, sir, this cooperative sector, I think most of you, many of you may be doing these cooperative audits also. They are saying that in those the areas, the director is coming and making the particular chartered accountant responsible for whatever the fraud that has happened. Say there is some bank where there is a fraud of 1 lakh, 1 crore, and he says, why I cannot book you for this, why I cannot recover this 1 crore from the chartered accountant. So these are things which is not in a good way. As a chartered accountant, we will go and do the audit, maybe our fees may be 5,000, 10,000 or maybe 50,000. We should not be responsible for the frauds that happen in a particular bank as such. So we have to give representation for that. So in those cases also, or there are some frauds, even some 2-3 banks in Bangalore, you know, there are a lot of frauds. Those auditors also have been booked in disciplinary. They have been referred to the institute. The cases are going there. And one more thing is with respect to the certificates, as I said, bankers insist on various certificates. And even they say that without this certificate, your client will not get the loans. To help the client, we may be in a thing that we also give some certificates. So before issuing a certificate, please ensure that whether the certificate is required or not. Just because your client asks or just because your bankers ask, please don't issue certificates. Because what happens, one banker will take the certificates from you and he will sanction the loan. After 2 years, he will get transferred. The other manager will come and that account becomes NPA. Straight away, they will refer the case to the ICA as such. So these are some of the few cases, a few instances what I thought I'll share with you with respect to the disciplinary mechanism. I hope after listening to all the 4 speakers who are well versed in the bank audit, their experience and expertise, they will share with all of us. Let us do a wonderful audit, because if you see in the world scenario, like there are no banks that have become bankrupt in India as such. Many banks across the globe would have gone bankrupt, but in India, luckily nothing has happened. So one of the main reasons for that is the stronghold of our fraternity who are doing the audit. So that has to be again demonstrated once again. Even though we don't have very big banks, in fact India is the 5th largest economy, but in the top 50 banks, Indian banks doesn't figure. SBI may be 51st bank. So in one of the economic survey they said bankers are not proportionately or directly supporting the development of this nation, because if India is the 5th largest economy, we should have banks which are in top 10, but we don't have that. I only hope that with all these measures, that is with respect to this mergers and all, maybe in the coming years, our banks also will grow and become one of the top 10 bankers in the world. And for that also, our fraternity is always there to support this economy as partners in nation building. This year's motto or plan for ICA is Drishti. So I hope all of you will, Drishti is vision. There's a description for Drishti, because of paucity of time I cannot get into those descriptions. I only wish that you get into the website and see that you see what is the definition of Drishti. One important thing ICA is doing is, because today we are talking about AI, artificial intelligence. So this year we have a separate committee of AI in ICA. So AI in ICA. So we have started a separate directorate for AI, and a lot of initiatives have been taken to help the members and students at large. I said again about exams, all of you should be aware that we have started examination for intermediate and foundation 3 times in a year. And I should share with all of you, being my people from my branch, I was instrumental in implementing this particular thing of 3 examinations for intermediate and foundation. That was one of the reasons why I'm continuing in the examination committee for 3rd successive years. And I wish happy learning for all of you. Of course, we have got elections this year for the general elections. I wish all of you will participate in that and elect the best government for this nation to take it forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for an elaborate address and then giving us an overview on the entire bank audit process. Before we move on to the next item on the agenda, there is a pleasant task what we will be doing. We have with us Pratik Palur, a gold medalist CA. Please welcome to you. He is qualified as a chartered accountant in 2008, and he is a YouTuber who holds a Guinness record where he did a live YouTube for 9 hours. It's a fantastic achievement, so we recognize your presence and we want to hand over a memento to you. Please come to the stage. While he walks up to the stage, I will read out other items or positions what he has held. He is also a company secretary, 7th rank holder. Author of 10 literary books, volunteer of Gita Press. He has also worked in ITC, Pernod Richard and Kerry Ingredients. Chartered accountant going out of the way and doing something on a technical side is something unique, and congratulations to you. We'll now break for the, he will address us now.
Thank you so much. It feels so great to be in this great company of all these fellow chartered accountant members, and I understand most of you are practicing chartered accountants. While I am in service, I work with Flipkart. I really don't know how to express my gratitude to Srinivas sir and Pramodji, only knowing about 2-3 days back about this achievement on mine, and allowing me to come here and have your felicitations. So it feels really wonderful. I've been in Bangalore for about 9 years now, but I have not become a Kannadiga as such, but Nimage Tumba Dhanyavadagalu. That's all I would like to say. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So it's time for vote of address, vote of thanks, sorry. I know, I've been talking about addresses, so. So first of all, I would like to thank Santanu, Kumar's Majumdar, who being the busiest day of the entire year, he has come here and spent time with us. And also our Central Council member, Sikkota Srinivas sir, and Geeta AB sir, SIC chairperson, both of them have come all the way to address us. And all the members who have actually come now and participated for this. So we'll break now for the tea, and within 15 minutes we will reassemble for the next technical session.